tinzireyo tsitsi ama onayo wene mwari odayikiso nyakupisa matatu apasi zvawawo wakapokwa kumabiko ewaya mambo anikodzeri kuti mupinde mune chingotaurayo chicheche mwana wangu. Saka padasika panapa vakatolike vagara vachikutabira komunisani vanotarisa kuti vauye kuzotabira komunisani vatana yesu munamatira hama yedu asi kuti tisvike pakugatira komunisani pane kaprocess kanodiwa vaita basa vaio ngatinamati Mwari Baba vedu, takamuchira muvenero paro mwana weYesu Kristu, tinokutenda. Tinokumbira kuti hama yedu Robbie, Matongo, Mupawose aidya nesunguva iyi akomedze kusvika kumabiko okudenga aakafa nogadzirira. Icho chichemo chedu kwamuri Baba, mupe mufaro usingaperi, munogara nokutonga kwemisi isingaperi. Amadzadiwa, taungana pano kuzonamatira hama yedu Robbie, Matongo, Mupawose. Ndagatira mechwana matira mwedu yose kuti Mwari akomedze kuvagamuchira. Mambo ngaarumbidze kwemisi isingaperi. Mambo donzera kuti chichemo chedu ngatisvike kwamuri. Ngatinamati. Mwari nyadenga. Mwari nyadenga. Muridzi wapasi Baba netsitsi, unaita ungana pane zuva nami kuzoperekedza mwana wenyu Robbie, Matongo, Mupawose nokumusvitsa kwamuri. Imi mamudaidza, imi mamubvisa matiri. Kusava nokumwe kwaanganogara kusina imi. Chimugamuchirai chigara nemi muridzi wake, muregererewo zvose zvaakakutadzai. Muchimupinza musha wenyu worufaro, munzirewo tsitsi musamutonge mini hasha, musamurangewo. Mambo mukatitonga nokutiranga sezvatinofanira kuita. Ndiani wedu angapunyuka? Mukati murodorodze kutadza kwedu. Mambo zvichemo zvedu hamungazviti. Misodzi yedu kukaishayira. Yezvino maziso edu azere misodzi, asi mwoyo wenyu imi Mwari uzere tsitsi. Kudaro Baba chipinzai mwana wenyu Robbie, Mupawose musha wenyu worufaro, agogara nokufara namasande vose, namadziteteguru ake vose, namadzikuru ake vose, namadzikuru ake vose, nehama dzake dzose dzakatungamira. Kristu Mambo wedu, kuitirawo chemo chedu ichi kuna Mwari Baba. Mambo tinzwireiwo tsitsi. Mambo tinzwireiwo tsitsi. Kristu tinzwireiwo tsitsi. Mambo tinzwireiwo tsitsi. Mupewo zororo risingaperi Mambo. Gazo murugare. Maria musande wewe mwana wenyu Robbie, Mupawose. Newa musande wake nemwangere wake muchengeti munhu wenyu uyu. Vangere navasande vose hama yenyu iyi. Vechizvarwa chokababa vake makafa nokudenga mwana wenyu uyu. Iyi madzibaba ake namadzitateguru ake ose muri kudenga, navose vorudzi rwokababa vake makafa mwana wenyu uyu. Ive chizvarwa chokwamai vake makafa muri kudenga mwana wenyu uyu. Iyi madzisekuru ake namadzimbi ake navose vorudzi rwokwamai vake makafa muri kudenga mwana wenyu uyu. Nehama dzake dzose neshamwari dzake dzose makafa muri kudenga hama yenyu iyi. Ngatinamati. Mambo edu Yesu Kristu makatiraidza muchiti, kumbirai muchapiwa, gogodzai muchazarurwa. Tinokumbira Baba venyu Mambo wedenga musiki wedu, tivaregererewo Robbie, Matongo, Mupawose uyu zvose zvavakavatadzira. Vamuzarure denga, apinde afare navangeri navasande nehama dzake dzose dzakatungamira. Kristu Mambo wedu, titsirewo chemo chedu ichi kuna Mwari Baba. Robbie, Matongo, Mupawose, ndinokumwaya nemvura yedonodzo, nditonhorere neropa raKristu, muzita raBaba noMwanakomana naMweya Mutsvene. Robbie inokupfungaidzira nepfungaidzo yedenga kunowira kwayo nokudzingira mweya yose yakaipa nokudzingira vavengi vako kure. Musara Baba, nomwanakomana namweya Musante. Wakudzwe Baba nomwanakomana namweya Musante. Moyo wa Yesu wa Mwari pindura yevatatu nonora kurisayemweya yose ipurigatori. Yesu makanakisa ndidavirei pazuva imununuri wangu, Mwari wangu ndinoziva ndinofa, handizivi riniko, handizivi kupiko, handizivi sei, asi ndinoziva kana ndichafanira kutadza unouraya charasirwa kumoto muzhinji. Moyo wa Yesu wa Mwari kunemi ndinotarisira ndinasiya rofu rwakanaka kuti ndife tichishamwaridzana nemi kwemisi isingaperi. Mweya waro kafa, mweya waro mweya yese vatenderi vakafa, mweya waro mweya yese vatenderi vakafa. Su tinovimba namambo, mambo ngave nemi, Mwari namasimba ose Baba nomwanakomana namweya Mutsvene, kumurayiro yedu iyi muichenge nokuisimbisa zvino nemisi isingaperi. Utioro nemisi wapera, tinoramba tiri pano tichidzwa maspichi nokuzoita board viewing, tozonoti after lunch tonovatsikanwa tinoti.
Thank you. Kanisa maokupa mwetendeti titenda Father Ferdinand. Thank you, Father Ferdinand. Thank you. Right, before we continue to speeches, there's a few admin issues that I must deal with. For those ones that need to use bathrooms, you go out the building, turn right, and then turn right again to the CMAS complex, and you can find the bathrooms there. Secondly, we are doing some live streaming, so if you want to send messages for somebody to join the live streaming, just go to YouTube at Dr. Robbie Matongo Mupawose, at Dr. Robbie Matongo Mupawose, and they can join us as well. Speeches. Before I go to the obituary, I'm going to start off first of all with three different speeches, important speeches, and we'll go to the obituaries. My first speech, and I'm smiling because earlier on I introduced the chairman of the Show Society as Dr. Ngoni. I went back and sat on my seat and corrected it and put Mr. Ngoni Kudenga. I looked at it again and it went back to Dr. Ngoni. I changed the third time and it went back to Dr. Ngoni. So, Mr. Ngoni, Dr. Ngoni, there's some sort of prophecy here. So maybe you can start looking at the possibility of becoming Dr. Ngoni. Please come forward and give us a speech. I think you can go to the podium.
Chimwe chatinoda kuti nditaure kuti Mupawose tinoda kuti seZimbabwe Agricultural Society tinotenda zvikuru nokuti kuti Dr. Mupawose vaiti service yavo muno Mupawose tinokutenda. ladies and gentlemen, family and friends, members of the agricultural fraternity, distinguished guests, we gather today with heavy hearts, yet with deep gratitude, to honor the life of a man whose footsteps left a lasting imprint on Zimbabwe's agricultural landscape, Dr. Mupawose. His passing marks the end of an era, but his legacy will continue to guide us for generations. Dr. Mupawose was more than an agronomist, more than an administrator, more than a strategist. He was a steward of agricultural development, a builder of institutions, and a mentor whose wisdom shaped countless leaders. His life was a testament to service to farmers, to the nation, and to the advancement of agriculture as a pillar of Zimbabwe's prosperity. Many of us knew him best through his remarkable leadership of the Zimbabwe Agricultural Society, where he served as president from 2002 to 2015. Those 13 years were a period of renewal, expansion, and modernization. Under his stewardship, thus evolved from being preliminary and organizer of the annual agricultural show into a dynamic, year-round institution supporting farmers, agribusinesses, researchers, and the policymakers. He believed deeply that agricultural exhibitions should be more than displays. They should be engines of economic growth, platforms for knowledge exchange, and the bridges connecting farmers with industry, government, and innovation. Guided by his vision, he revitalized programs such as the Home and Garden Expo, introduced the cultural and social exhibitions, and broadened the society's engagement with communities across Zimbabwe. He championed environmental stewardship long before it became fashionable, promoting renewable energy technologies, encouraging indigenous tree planting, and ensuring that the Harare Exhibition Park reflected both progress and sustainability. Dr. Mupawose's leadership was defined by inclusivity, innovation, and a deep respect for the people who make agriculture possible. He strengthened linkages between farmers, researchers, industry, and government, ensuring that the Zimbabwe Agricultural Show remained one of the country's premier platforms for showcasing technology, investment opportunities, and best practices. Even after his presidency, he continued to serve as long-life vice president, offering counsel, institutional memory, and mentorship to emerging leaders. His presence was steady, his advice invaluable, and his commitment unwavering. This wall that bears his name is a permanent reminder of the esteem in which he was actually held. Beyond the society, Dr. Mupawose's career spanned more than 4 decades of national service. He served as permanent secretary for agriculture, chaired major financial and agricultural institutions, contributed to national policy formulation, and supported agricultural research and development. His influence touched every corner of the sector. Yet for many Zimbabweans, it was through ZAS that they came to know him as a passionate advocate for agricultural progress, a champion of a farm empowerment, and a leader who believed that agriculture is the backbone of national development. Today, as we mourn his passing, we also celebrate a life lived with purpose, humility, and dedication. Dr. Robbie Mupawose strengthened one of Zimbabwe's oldest agricultural institutions and ensured its continued relevance in changing the world. He leaves behind a legacy of vision, service, and institution building that will continue to inspire us. To his family, we extend our deepest condolences. Thank you for sharing him with the nation. His work, his wisdom, and his spirit will live on in the fields he led, and the institutions he strengthened, and the people he mentored. May his soul rest in eternal peace. May his legacy continue to guide us. I thank you.
Thank you. The chairman of Zimbabwe Aquatic Society, Mr. Mupawose. Thank you, sir. At this point, I'd like to ask from Delta Corporation, the financial director, Mr. Alex Matongo, to come forward and give his views.
I will rely on the protocols very observed, recognizing the Minister of Agriculture, who is here with us. I'm delivering this speech on behalf of the Delta Corporation, a company group that worked with Dr. Mupawose from 1990 when we started off as the director of one of the subsidiaries, the Zimbabwe Salmon Limited, and we moved on to become the parent company, the chairman for 13 years until his retirement in 2010. In those days, he showed steady presence, he was composed, he showed confidence, and measured and attentive. He was attentive to what mattered, to the business. As we speak in governance, we speak at the tone that we set at the top. But we set the tone with quiet consistency, and many of these cultural routines, etiquette, and formalities still shape of how we conduct our meetings today in the Delta. He was a gentleman. He helped guide the Delta from the era of executive chairman to the accepted current governing practice of an independent board chairman. And he lived those principles without fanfare. He understood the boundary between governing and managing, and asking questions to management that needed answer rather than those questions that drew attention to himself. That discipline had been shaped over the periods that he served on a number of boards, and he continued to lead with that kind of demeanor and presence that I've just described. During his period as chairman of the Delta, the business delayed from its wholesale and retail businesses, leading to the separate listing of OK Zimbabwe, Zimbabwe Sun, which is now called African Sun, and Pillars. Those transactions included management and employee participation schemes, reflecting the broader philosophy of inclusion, and those and the view that those who help create the value should also share in it. His passion for agriculture was central to who he was. It was reflected in his service to AGA, the Zimbabwe Agricultural Society, has just been described, to several land commissions, and the boards of a number of companies, including Agribank, Mupawose, Alston, CFI, the Tobacco Research Board, and Zimbabwe Leaf Tobacco. He was a successful farmer. For Robbie, the land was more than just a portfolio, it was his vocation. And part of his belief that Zimbabwe's prosperity was tied to the productivity of the soil. At Delta, we embraced that view and started what today has become a normal practice of contracting for the crops that we use in the business, particularly the staple maize, which added on to the schemes that we've had for a period, which included barley and so on. These schemes not only provide our raw materials, they provide livelihoods to our farmers and the families that we support. He brought conversations, to those conversations around the support of agriculture, groundless, that marked his broad conduct and his relationships across the institutions in banking and other facets of the business in Zimbabwe. In the business, he worked during a period of turbulence. We all know that from 1996 to 2009, it was not an easy period. It was not an easy season for most institutions. And he held the view of preserving the skills that we have in the business, which was one of the key issues that allowed our business to maintain its presence and growth faster than what most businesses would have achieved when the economy stabilized. He retired from our business at the age of 75. We did ask him to stay on the board beyond our normal retirement period to allow for those calmness in his conduct to preside over the period of change as we look at the economy at the time. We say to Dr. Robbie's family that we believe that the boardroom was quieter, or the boardroom would be quieter for his passing. The agriculture showgrounds will fill his absence, and the forums where Zimbabwe's future was discussed, such as the NECF, will remember his stead and considered voice. We say to the family and to his friends and colleagues in business, may his soul rest in eternal peace. I thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Matongo. Thank you. Thank you. We move on with our speeches. Our time is going quite well, so we're still okay with our time. I'm now going to call a man who was both a friend of his, a colleague of his, even here at ZAS, a person that he worked with in government, and a person that knew him very well. Honorable, we didn't want to start with you, we wanted you to be in the middle of something. So I'm now asking the Honorable Minister of Agriculture, Mechanization and Water Resources, Dr. Anxious Dogemasu, to give us a speech.
I'm told we must say all protocols observed. Let me start by saying the difficult things being said, departure of this transformation time, and to the Matongo, Mupawose, family, is sad loss. And we are with you during this very difficult phase. I hope and pray that God will give you the strength to be able to pull through this very difficult period. I will prepare a speech because I felt that the speech would not reflect what this transformation giant did to me and to many other colleagues that I see here. Robbie, Matongo, Mupawose was this strategist, short in stature, very big in ideas, that transformed the nation. Very few actually know that Robbie Mupawose was the first agricultural graduate, black agricultural graduate in Zimbabwe. He was then British. So such was this idea. And when he came back in the 70s to be employed by the Ministry of Agriculture, blacks had to start at technician level. But because he had a master's, they had to find him a graduate placement and hide him somewhere. He then got an appointment at Chired's research station, where he was actually head, and he had white graduates under him, which was unique and not allowed by the system. And he told me the other day, because on many occasions, as my father to be murdered, he went to Hot Springs with his late dear wife and found a few of these graduates in the Hot Springs pool, and it had been written there, no blacks, no dogs. Robbie Mupawose says, I'm none of that, I'm going to join my juniors. So he went into the pool, which was only for whites. And of course, you know what happened. Got arrested. But he says, but there is coming. Few also know that Robbie Mupawose contributed so much to the liberation struggle. His house in Chiredzi, he would cook sadza, a meal for 10, 15 people every day. And he would put this outside the house. And he knew that comrades would pass through every night to have a meal. And he did this religiously. He also transformed what was to be called Ada as he worked at Timpo. And at independence, the late president, Mugabe, saw it fit to appoint this pioneer to a role that was central to the transformation of this country. Agriculture, at some stage, lands, agriculture, and we all know his contribution. The President, His Excellency Dr. Inti Mnangagwa, was pleased on Wednesday to write his condolence, recognizing the strides made, the transformation by this stalwart of agriculture. In that message, he also had an occasion to console the Mupawose family. He also extended state-assisted funeral, and I gather most of the aspects that are related to the expenses for this funeral deservedly have been contributed by the contributions by the government of Zimbabwe. So I thank the President for his magnanimity. Many of us in the agricultural landscape, many of us were transformed by him, know and hope that the discussions that are continuing behind the scenes may lead to some further recognition of his sterling work and contribution to the transformation of this country. When I first interacted with Robbie Mupawose in 1995, I was just a novice, a researcher in the Tobacco Research Board, and joined from the Forestry Commission. And I rose through the ranks to become one of the youngest CEOs of paracetamols in Zimbabwe in 2000. And he saw in me what I didn't see in myself. He thought I didn't think I amounted to anything, and he thought I amounted to something. Such was his insightful thinking, ability to pick people that would eventually nurture them. And he mentored me through and through. I remember the other day, I said to him, I wanted to leave the tobacco research board after 20 years in the tobacco research board. And he says to me, but you can't tell me over the phone. So, and I said, I want to go into farming because I saw you as a farmer. I drove to the farm. He said, so what are you going to do? I told him, tobacco, you're doing tobacco, and I advised him, I want to do like you or better. I want to do nice, so a much more. Then the following Tuesday, I got a phone call from one whole sphere from Aristo Holdings, where Mupawose was chairman. They said, Robbie says I should meet with you agent. I said, how agent is agent? He said, like today. So I met up with Paul Sphere. We indicated that Matongo directed that he employs me. It was too early for me to go and sit on the farm. So I became the first grade chief operating officer and executive director of Aristo Holdings through Mupawose. And when I stayed there for 2.5 years or so, this mind of mine says again, you must go and farm. So I told him, I'm leaving. I want to be full-time farmer on the farm. And he says, but you can't say this on the phone. I can't do the farm. I went again to the farm. I think it was very Monday, following Monday, when the president of the Agricultural Society going there gave me a phone call. He says, come to the office agent. And he leads us across there. And he says, Mupawose said, I must employ you as CEO. So he said there were 3 of them. They said, oh, we are not interviewing you. We are asking you about the pay. Because he has directed that it's too early for you to be far on the full-time basis. You need to contribute to the transformation of the nation. So I came here January 2015, stayed until August 2020, and the rest, of course. And I'm pleased that the former Chief Secretary to the President Cabinet is here, Dr. Michelle Slada. Please stay up so people can see you and see the man who also has contributed immensely to the transformation. Thank you, Dr. Slada. Dr. Slada phoned me 3:35 p.m. on a Monday and said, following the demise of the Minister of Agriculture, the late Perez, and so the President is looking for people to appoint as Minister of Agriculture. Can you assist us in government to identify a suitable candidate? And I said, how quickly do you want this? And he says, agent. I said, but can you give me more like overnight so I can go through, because this is a very important task, go through the names and asking people. And he said, yes, but it has to be by about 7:30 in the morning before we go to cabinet. I think you remember. The first person I got hold of was Dr. Mupawose. I said, Dr. Mupawose, in confidence, I've been requested by the Chief Secretary to submit names for possible consideration by the President for appointment as Minister. And I had 3 names, and I did not include myself because I didn't think I was that material anymore. And I stood, I don't know, maybe I am. So we went through the 3 names, and he says 8 the 4th. And I said, which one do you have? He said, where did you 8 yourself? I said, but do I do that? I don't think these three are above me, and I think they are more capable than me. So, he says 8 the 4th, and then in order, you knew Dr. Mupawose. When he said something, he was a man of principle, he stood by it, and he said 8 that 4th. In order to cut the discussion, I said, I hear you say, I have edited it, but I didn't. The only time I disobeyed. So the following morning I said to Dr. Sibanda, the 3 names minus mine. And Dr. Sibanda was going through over the phone with me, and this one I read, this one I read, and this one I read, and that was it. Then on a Thursday, and unbeknown to me, they make the wrong announcement. They don't announce the 3 that I had given them, they announce me. So whatever Dr. Mupawose saw in me, I think Dr. Sibanda and others also saw in me that this young, directionless agriculturalist who needed intensive management, direction and support, but if you gave him that, you probably get some results at the end of the day. So I thank Dr. Mupawose for having seen that. Wherever Dr. Mupawose went, he transformed organizations, transformed government, the government ethic, the philosophy, that agriculture is at the epicenter for the transformation that we see. That we must transform from subsistence to commercial agriculture, irrespective of scale, and in every enterprise that he associated with. Dr. Mupawose left him out. And the Tobacco Research Board, when, because of the necessary revolutionary land reform program, tobacco production plummeted to 48 million kilograms in 2020. In 2004, Dr. Mupawose had the unenviable task as chair of NACF to put together a team that would look for means and ways to resuscitate the tobacco industry. In 2005, we introduced the dual marketing system, the auction and contract, because of Dr. Mupawose. And then we started to invite blacks to produce tobacco. Because before 1990, we just doing Bali and Chikwariba. But Furukiwa was a preserve of 1,500 white farmers. Today, 140,000 farmers produce tobacco. 85% of them are smallholder tobacco farmers. Championed by Dr. Mupawose. We have broken all records in terms of tobacco production because of this very firm foundation that this transformation giant set. I can say more and more. Let me end by saying I had 2 jealous brothers, Tami and Taurai. Because stand up, please. There is Tami this end. Who is Taurai? It's just went up. Tami is my younger brother, the eldest son of Dr. Mupawose. And there is a young Taurai who is assisting me on the farm. He leads the farm. So he and I confide with me. I think the father is favoring too much. He advises you too much. And I say to him, behind the scenes, there are far too many shadows. You don't want to be advised in this manner. To stay on this straight and narrow, this man nurtures you, mentors you, every time. I end by maybe just recognizing the rest of the family. Who is the sister? The eldest, yes. Please say that. I know that Mupawose will say a lot about his brother, but I just want to recognize him. Please stand up. And the many people that are here, Mupawose, Matsanganisa, the one that Sikajapuzi Kuchaonana, Panguya Kadai, Imi, Mupawose, Makawa, Penyu, mukafamba negwara raJesu, mukafamba negwara rokuti nyika ino ibudirire. Tose tive nechidzidzo chokuti zvavakatibata, zvavakatiitira, tikwanise kuenderera mberi nazvo, kuti mabasa edu chero maenda asarashwe pamativi. Ndatenda tenyu.
Thank you very much, Dr. Masuka. Thank you. Just as the Honorable sits down, just a small admin issue, and this is a bit personal. So the cameraman, when he is taking pictures and he's taking a video and he comes over here in the process, and he gets to where Mr. Matongo is, he stops and he starts to come back, and I'm sitting on the other side. I'm also family, you can take me as well. Yeah, it's okay. They won't mind. Yeah? Thank you. Just a small admonition. Thanks. Just a light moment. Anyway, I'm going to ask his brother and his good friend, Mr. Matongo, to please come up and say a few words. I'll give you this one.
Thank you very much. First, I want to greet you all. A lot of friends. I don't want to waste your time. I'm not a politician. I'm not a president. I'm a mayor. So everybody here is a friend. That's why you are here. I'm not here for the chicken pieces, pano. You didn't come here for chicken pieces. You came here because of God. Each one of you was touched individually by all these words. Each one of that's why you are here. Thanks. That's why you are here. Not just, I'm a friend, yes. But we are all friends. If you were to be asked to say something, you probably say better things than Dr. Masuka said. You say better things than I will be able to say. Dr. Masuka is almost summed up what I should say about Robbie. I met Robbie in Coromons in 1954. I was there for my Form 1. He was my senior. You got a few young men together. Edmund Gallo, David Murangari, one Matongo, and a few more. I mention this because Robbie was never a tribalist. All his friends
what you are saying. I hope, Dr. Masuka, what you are saying about Mupawose handing you all over does not mean to say you was corrupt. You are not corrupt. He only recognized ability, and he had handed ability. That's what is important. That is what is lacking, unfortunately, in Zimbabwe today. I'm afraid to say that. Dr. Masuka, there are a few things I would like to say, which very few of you know. First, I was Mupawose best man when he got married in Swaziland, together with Nangalo. We were not asked to make any speeches on behalf of the family, because none of us could speak Zulu or whatever. All we knew was Shona and English, and a few pints of beer. Robbie was a politician, and that's what I want to say a little bit. All of you professionals will talk about that. I don't want to speak about that. When I saw a metro, there was an organization in Rhodesia called the Youth League of Nyasaland and Rhodesia. I don't know how many of you know that. That included the twin brothers, the producers, the Sicily. It was Yatuta and producer, if I remember correctly. These two were very active in bringing back Kamuzu Banda to Malawi. But unfortunately, Kamuzu Banda threw them into the river, what we call it, Shire River, and they were meat for the crocodiles. I think those are. Now, I mentioned that because Robbie was quiet. We had an office in All Street. Many of you would not know it, because probably some of you were not even born. Robbie was involved from that time on. Every organization, political organization that was formed in Zimbabwe, Robbie was quietly involved. We were young, youth. And when Edson's story was released from prison in 1970, he came straight to me and said, I want to write Constitution of Zimbabwe. So I said, unbeknown to him, I also had instructions from the Liberation Center to get this story out of the country. So I said, Papa, you want to write a constitution? And yet you don't know I'm going to take you out of the country. He refused. I made arrangements with Mupawose and my other youngsters to get Edson's story out of the country. He refused. He said he wanted to write a constitution. Anyway, we were going to try. Unfortunately, a few months later, I was arrested. Robbie took over my family. I just got married. My first daughter was 3 months old. So Robbie took. He said, I'm going to go back. So for the next 7 years that I was in prison, Robbie looked after my family. Robbie was not able to visit me in prison because I was classified D, where what you call the D section, maximum security prison, we were only allowed 15 minutes a month visit. So Robbie agreed with my wife that she was the only one who would visit me for all that period. 15 minutes a month for 7 years. Robbie could not see me, but he showed up on after my family. I'm not going to say long, because I was saying to Bia, from what you all have said, is Robbie a hero? What is it? What is a hero? Is Robbie a hero? From what you have said? I don't know. I really don't. These questions will be asked by the next generations. Robbie to me is a hero. He's my brother. What do we do? How do we find him? It pains me that I cannot say too much about this. When I met him 3 weeks ago, I nearly asked him, and that Wakurero, if you die, are you going to be hero? So he said, shut up. So what could I say? But it's not just Robbie. There are hundreds, thousands of people like Robbie. Hundreds, thousands of people. I have people whom I saved in prison. Their heroism is a small hole in the ground, in the bush. That's where they are. When I look at you, all of you, I admire you. You have the guts to come and see your friend. Whatever you did, I recognize it's important. I'm very happy about it. Robbie never taught his children, those children, to be thieves. He taught them to work. Whatever they do, they must work. Not to steal. Don't steal from anybody. Don't steal from the nation. Work. And I say, when you look, Robbie look for you, it was not corruption. No. I'm trying to say, is there a lady who is going to speak after me?
Somebody's going to come.
I'm told they will. Robbie was a Christian, and thank you for being here. He was a good man. He helped a lot of people. Some of whom are not here. They are not able to be here. It's not because of their fault, no. Some are dead. They would have been here. I can go on and on and on about Robbie. He says, I'm a good friend, I'm a good friend. Baba Robbie, Namai Robbie, and only one child. And he was a boy. So when Edmund and myself appeared from Chatawaro, they adopted us as sons. And we remained like that until they died. Sid said, doesn't it? All of you have remained Robbie's friends until then. So nothing will change that. You will be Robbie's friends forever. Thank you very much. Oh, I'm using this because Robbie was using this image. I can
A big thank you to Mr. Bezrai Manzini, a brother to Mupawose. I'm going to ask another colleague, Mr. Pia, to come up and say some words.
First of all protocol observed. Honorable Minister, we welcome you and we welcome my friend Mbonimden, who is the chairman of the directors. Name Mupawose, we welcome you here, friends from the Catholic Church, and good friends that we have worked together over the years. It's refreshing to be here today. Robbie has brought us together to celebrate his life. He's a man who was part of the transformation. Those who grew up in politician will know what, when we talk about what transformation was brought about. And it happened in 1980 when the next took over the government of this country. I first met Robbie in Mupawose in 1962. In actual fact, it's very ominous because I was a form student and my wife now, who has been with me since 1960. She was a 4-month student, I was a 4-month student. We watched together. Robbie knows that history from that day. So he is a man who is a pillar in our lives. Robbie was my teacher. He taught science, was a fresh graduate from Roma University. There was another young man called Mupawose who, together with me, would go and help Robbie. Obviously, he was a bachelor. He would cook new plates all over, pots all over. We cleaned the house from time to time. And we benefited, obviously, from the leftovers. As students, that was very important. So it became our problem. But fast forward, because I can talk, until something. Fast forward, we parted ways. Robbie left for Monzi, went to teach, in Bulawayo, at the secondary school. And then thereafter, he went to the United States to get his degree, master's degree in agriculture. I think it has been said that he came back and joined the Ministry of Agriculture. But those who know what tradition is all about, you could be as qualified as anything, but you never ever get the right job which fits your qualifications. That was what it was. And those I know who went to university and found themselves doing an economics degree or even a law degree, you ran into problems with each other. So that was what he had at that time. Fast forward, in the 70s, I also done a bit of some teaching, and I see my very honored students in here who became top government officials, top executives, who I taught at So it became there. So this is the history. But coming back to 1977, when this war of Chirenga was being fought, it was fought on two fronts. There were fighters in the field, and there were people within the country who were part of the struggle. 77, we met with Robbie at Christian Care. I think most of you know what Christian Care used to be. It was a fund that actually helped fighters, when they were arrested, put money to defend them. They were always called terrorists. And at the end of the day, they never knew how the lawyers came to defend them. It was Christian Care that was doing it. I met Robbie, Dr. Nyalazi, and my honorable national treasurer was Gaylord Kamarani from the Bible Society. I was the deputy national treasurer at the time of Christian Care. We were also helping those who were in prison, who wanted education, giving them money, buy books, pay their fees for various educational colleges. But the most important thing was that we looked after the children of those who were in prison, sent them to school, made sure that the welfare. But this organization was responsible for a lot of funds that were flowing into Zimbabwe. There were second-hand clothes which we needed to distribute. There was money that we used to handle. And let me say, I was deputy national treasurer. Let me say, not even a penny was abused. It went for the cause of the liberators. That's what we did with Mupawose, and some of you know about Dr. Mazoros, who was also a pillar of the struggle. He used to help with medical services to those who were fighting the war. Fast forward, 1980, I am now at the breweries. My student had become my boss because he was at the brewery. I joined the breweries. And I get a call, with my viewer, because we were serving with my viewer from Christian Care. Call, please come to join the civil service. And naturally, those who knew the corporation, Apex company, it was a top company, with proud guys in this top corporate. I left that job, and obviously, one of the things that pushed me out of the job was Inos Shura, because when I was at university, Inos Shura was my trust student, but now Inos Shura was now in human resources. He said, please leave this job. They want you in Norway. So that's when I went into the Ministry of Finance. And the three pillars who started the Ministry of Finance, when there was a white civil service structure, was Isaac Kalonga, there he is over. Myself and Mshakara. I met Isaac Kalonga for the first time, but Mshakara I had known from those days. So the three of us became the first three deputy permanent secretary. But the most interesting part of it all is becoming the Robbie. Is that we now have to work with Robbie, who was now permanent secretary in agriculture. As you will obviously appreciate, when you are talking about Ministry of Finance, it was a pillar of distributing funds to ministry. So Robbie actually had a very good team that would help him to transform agriculture. Those who know what tradition was all about, it was agriculture. When you look at this center here, it was the center that was used by farmers to drive agriculture. Remember 1965 when Zimbabwe declared independence and cut itself out of the world. The farmers were the ones who were the pillar of the economy. So he came into this institution, and as it's been said, he had started with a mineral profile in agriculture. So there he was uplifted now to change the way the agricultural structure of this country was. We were supposed to also to respond in the Ministry of Finance to create policy that would be consistent with what the new administration demanded. So he was part of the transformation. I won't say much, but obviously there were challenges. At the time when we came in, there were various thoughts on what agriculture could offer. I remember at one time there were cooperatives that were suggested to be part of the agricultural system. They died in death, and obviously people like Robbie then came up with a policy that enabled us to navigate through difficulty, because the structure of the Rhodesian families was very tight, and naturally the financing taking into account the fact that the funds were flowing from various sectors. The pension industry was part of the agricultural sector. The banking system was part of the agricultural sector. And at the end of the day, whatever wishes government would want to make, it would be facilitated if there was a lot of communication, within the people. So the communication that we had was very, very good, because when you look at people who have worked together in Christian care and other places, it was easy to go forward. We all served our term in government. Isaac went to Barclays. I left ministry after my term, and I went into the tobacco industry. And who do I find in the tobacco industry? And remember, the tobacco industry was the pillar of generation of foreign currency. I became the general manager of the auction, tobacco auction floor. And who do I meet? I meet Robbie Mupawose. Now, he was the chairman of ELT. ELT was export leaf tobacco, the biggest exporter of tobacco. And the tobacco industry in this country was obviously financed by external funds because it was exported. So there were structures that had been created by the Rhodesian system. Thankfully, they had done a very good job. So there were ways of how they could attract funds to come and finance agriculture on the basis that the funds would then be paid through the proceeds of sale of tobacco. And things like flowers had not really made their mark. Tobacco was one. Even the sanctions, were the ones that. So at the end of the day, that's where we facilitated this process. In the end, somebody talked about the tobacco industry's challenges, in marketing, in the bringing in of young new farmers it was Robbie Mupawose who was instrumental in that. I can say more, but at the end of the day, I would like to say this man was the pillar of transformation. And if Zimbabwe's history has to be written as to how it progressed, Robbie was part of that. And I would like to say to the family, they should feel very much honored to have had such a man who came in to Zimbabwe and contributed quite a lot. People are enjoying what Robbie Mupawose did for this country. So may his soul rest in everlasting peace. We salute you, and we are happy that you have brought all of us together, and you are refreshing our minds and giving us energy to carry on. Certainly, we will take that baton and face the challenges. We worked in government without any blemish. And all of you who are assembled in here, executives, in the various industries, I recognize the Chief Secretary here, who played a very pivotal role. Namboma Charles in government, and we thank you for all what you did for Zimbabwe. So Robbie was the son of Zimbabwe and the pillar of transformation. Thank you.
He did say that he was a teacher. So I had to get closer and closer and closer just to get him to speak up his long history. And I know even as the Honorable was speaking his long history. Mr. Beer, can I ask you and your wife to just stand up? Is your wife near here? Are you able to stand up? So he said something interesting. He said, you met her in 1962. 62. And I calculated those years. Would I be correct that it's 54 years? 62 years. Can somebody or everybody give them a big round of applause? Thank you. You may be seated. Thank you. Thank you. All right, so our time is now moving a bit faster than it should be, so I'm going to try to move as fast as I can. I'm going to ask Tete Mike or Baba to come. And after that, I'm going to ask Sekuru Salas Gorosha.
Vamsoroi Mose Murimuno Mauya Zoibatsira Uchema Anjaziamu Robbie Matongo Mupawose makatikoshera zvizhinji inotendai Papa Father Fernando nevamunokata navo vese. Chokutanga ndinoda kutenda zvizhinji mundibatsire ndisati ndataura. Ndoda kutenda Mwari nechipo chehanzvadzi yangu Robbie chavakatsipa. Ndakachiteerera zvose zvakazvichitaura. Kugona kwedenga kwakakurudza makomborero iwayo. Saka handingasei kutenda Mwari kuti vakatigonera. Zvinodadisa zvizhinji kana muine zvikomborero zvakadaro. Kuenda kwamukoma Robbie hakutadzise kuti tisare tichiteedzera mabatiro avo avanga vachingoita. Hanzi nevakuru pasika gumbo remberi reshure ngaritsike ipapo. Ndina ngazi dzangu dziri munomu, mazwa zvanga zvichipupurwa. Hatingazvikundikane isu takati tikakura tichizviona tobudirira here nedengu chiedza chedu chatakapihwa mumhuri ngatirambe takabaka chiri pamusoro pegomo vari nekure vachizviona kuti zvechokwadi mukoma Robbie vakasiya vadzidzisa mburi yekwavo ikateerera ikabata. Ngatidadisei tidade nechipo ichocho zvechokwadi, tirambewo tichidzidzisawo kana kuti tichidzidzawo mune zvakanaka zvakadaro, nokuti zvinhu zvese zvinobva mukudzidza. Ukadzidza ukabata unobudirira. Hanzi kopa bhuku reshasha usakope bhuku redofo. Hatikopei bhuku ramukoma Robbie. Ndinokutendai mose makamuchipupura zvamakaitirwa, makadzidziswa mukabata. Nhasi mazvipupura kunaka kwazvo nekusimudzirwa kwanakaitwa. Ndafarira agriculture iyoyo kuti nyika igute kurima, kuti tigute kurima. Saka ngatirambei tichirima. Ndokutendai mukoma Robbie nekugona kwenyu neruzivo rwenyu rwamasiya makagara munyika yedu yeZimbabwe. Tirambe takangobatirira paruzivo irworwo. Ndinokutendai zvizhinji kuhanzvadzi yangu Robbie, watisiyira chinhu chakanaka chinoedadisa hanzvadzi yangu. Saka ndinoti hanzvadzi, famba zvako zvakanaka. Inzira yemunhu wese kutungamira nesuwo tichatevera neroro zuva kana rasvika. Ndatenda.
Thank you, Tete. Thank you. Sekusa Simorosha.
Pamusoro wapamusoro pezvigaro zviri muhurumende nevese vanosenza maagriculture nevese vatikuta tongoti muchato wemuzukuru wangu akazvarwa ari ega mumba make nababa wake namai wake, ndiye mukomana chete. Kuzoitawo mana baba mudiki wake nanababa mukuru handizivi kuti wangani. Ndona wakatowandisa wazere muno kwaMupawose. Ndinopa kutenda kune vanhu vese vatikuta mumusha uno wakagadzirwa nemuzukuru wangu. Tanguno zvakanyorwa Mupawose ndasati tambozviona. Handina akawanda mashoko tingangopedze nguva tichitaura zvizhinji zvapupurwa nevanga vachigara naye. Ndokutendai.
Thank you, Sekuru. I'm now going to ask Zukuru, Tapiwa, David, and Jabu to come up. Tapiwa, you're going to be doing the eulogy. And, but you can all come up together at the same time.
Afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here with issue for our grandfather, Dr. Mupawose. He was born on the 30th of July, 1935, and passed on the 21st of June, 2026. The young Robbie Mupawose was born in Leon. He was an only child to take Mupawose and son to Rocha. He did primary school in Leon and high school at Mupawose High School. Also, Matongo Mupawose was a distinguished Zimbabwean economist, public servant, and institutional, whose career spans more than 5 decades across agricultural science, national policy, agribusiness, and financial citizenship. He holds a Bachelor of Science degree from Pius the 12th College in Lesotho, a Master of Science in Agronomy from the University of California, Davis postgraduate training from the University of Maryland, and a Doctorate of Philosophy from the University of Zimbabwe. His academic and scientific training laid a strong foundation for a career defined by evidence-based policy and institutional nature. Dr. Mupawose began his career as a teacher in science at Boboma High Schools from 1962 to 1965. He then transitioned into agricultural training and research as a lecturer at Yale Agricultural College, 1968 to 1970. Between 1970 and 1977, he served in key research roles across the globe at research stations, including Middlesbrough, Chisumbaji, and Jillet, contributing to applied agricultural research and crop production systems. He later joined the Tribal Trust Land Development Corporation, 1977 to 1981. Where he rose to general manager, gaining extensive experience in rural development and agricultural management. Dr. Mupawuse's career reached a defining point with his post-independence appointment to Permanent Secretary for Lands, Resettlement and Rural Development from 1981 to 1982. Permanent Secretary for Agriculture, 1982, and subsequently Permanent Secretary for Lands, Agriculture and Rural Resettlement, 1982 to 1987. He was instrumental in shaping Zimbabwe's post-independence land and agricultural policies, overseeing national resettlement programs and coordinating the integration of land, agriculture and rural development portfolios. His leadership during the formative period had a lasting impact on the country's agrarian structure, food systems, and rural development. Following his tenure in public service, Dr. Mupawose transitioned into extensive leadership across both public and private sector institutions. He chaired and served on numerous strategic boards, including as chairman of the Tobacco Marketing Board from 1983 to 1990, Agricultural Development Authority from 1988 to 1993, Agricultural Marketing Authority from 1991 to 1998, and Biotechnology Council of Zimbabwe from 1989 to 2010. He also served as Vice Chairman of the Zimbabwe State Trade Corporation, 1987 to 2005, and contributed to governance of Research Council of Zimbabwe from 1987 onwards. In the private sector, he held prominent leadership roles, including Chairman of Delta Corporation Limited from 1997 to 2005, Chairman of Barclays Bank of Zimbabwe from 2001, Chairman of AgriBank, Chairman of Harrison Holdings Limited. He also served on the boards of major companies such as Eco Valley Estates from 1990 to 2005, CFI Holdings from 1997 to 2004, and Zimbabwe Leaf Tobacco Company from 1987 to 1996. Among others, through these roles, he contributed significantly to strengthening corporate governance, advancing agricultural financing systems, and supporting private sector growth. Dr. Mupawose also served on the International Policy Council on Agriculture and Trade, 1988 to 1992. He was Vice Chairperson of the International Council for Research in Agroforestry, 1988 to 1994, and advised the World Bank's Special Program for African Agricultural Research, 1990 to 2005. He further contributed to global agricultural dialogue through his role with Rockefeller Foundation's advisory initiatives on agricultural resource husbandry, 1992 to 2004. At the national leadership level, Dr. Mupawose served as president of Zimbabwe Agricultural Society from 1986 to the extended period after which he was conferred the title of honorary life president, in recognition of his distinguished service and enduring contribution to the agricultural sector. He also served as co-chairman of the National Economic Consultative Forum, the AECF, and its Land Reform Task Force, as well as chairman of the National Botanic Gardens Fund Committee and the Bates Trust Fellowship Advisory Board. In recognition of his contributions, Dr. Mupawose received the Farming Oscar Award in 1987 and the President's Prize for Leadership in Science. Therefore, it is clearly evident that Dr. Mupawose's career reflects a unique integration of scientific expertise, high-level public service, and strategic leadership across multiple sectors. Dr. Robbie Mupawose, Dr. Robbie Matongo Mupawose, is survived by Amai, 6 children who have lost to stand, Dadirai, Tami, Toko, Taurai, Fungai, Tatena, and the late son, Stan. Two are who I gave us to Stan, Ania and Josephine. 11 grandchildren, of whom 4 are present, 3 great-grandchildren, and 2 whom he has reunited together with his late wife. Dr. Robbie's valuable energy will be sorely missed. He led a full and fulfilling life of several days.
The long living memory of my grandfather is a great inspirational man, and he will live forever in our hearts. Thank you.
Hello, I am David Mupawose, second born of Tammy Cousin, and I'd like to talk about my dad. My granddad was amazing. He was inspirational. He helped to build this nation. And many people might know him as a leader, and through all his schemes as a chairman and being on these boards and his daughter. But to us grandchildren, he was just a grandfather. And growing up, he never really heard any sounds. He didn't care about it. But now that I'm old enough to really realize what he's done, it's amazing. It's so inspirational. Like, I want to be almost just like him. As he wasn't telling me he better, but I'll try to have fun. But my brother sent me a very awesome brother. Should I maybe say my grandfather? And he responded very quickly. And he told, and he said, when my parents went away to America to finish their master's degrees, my grandfather and my grandmother took care of him and took him back to the house and to my brother. They were virtually mom and dad. And it's very touching that he's so sad and broken by the passing of his grandfather. And I'll quote these last words for you in my brother's words as close as I can. He has lost his favorite Robbie, and now he carries the name of him. I think he will do great. So thank you.
I would just like to say a few words about my grandfather. My name is Mupawose. He was a prominent man. He was a lovely man. He was a serious man. He loved his family. He loved his children. He loved his grandchildren. My grandfather, I have never seen him eat what of food. Sikubangu bayibokota amanzana. Sikubangu abayibamulu bayibini. But through it all, the person he was, he remained consistent and faithful to his identity. I think that Dr. Bland mentioned just now, who he was who he was. He didn't wear t-shirts. He didn't do certain things. That's just who he was. I think people mentioned that he was a principled man. I think he was more than that. I think he was a God-given. And forever, as a country and especially as a family, we are all wounded and at a loss. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Pastor Guru. Ruth prepared a song.
So I'm his great daughter. I love my voice, and I hope you also love the voice. The song that I'm going to sing is called "God Be With You Till We Meet Again," and indeed, God be with you, Sekuru, till we meet again in His arms. God be with you till we meet again. Bye.
Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. Thank you. Let's give another big hand. Finally, for the last speech, I'm going to ask Tammy to come up and say a few words. While Tammy's coming up, when we are done, lunch will be provided. All you do is you just walk out, turn left into Gladys Stadium in that space, and we'll provide lunch for you. However, I do ask that we eat as suddenly as we can, so as quickly as possible, so that we can make it to the burial site for 2 p.m. Thank you.
Good day, everybody. My name is Mupawose. My middle name is Tabo, and I'm my grandfather. It is a sad time for the family, so I'd really like to start off in terms of thank you some of the people that have helped us to be able to have this celebration of his life today. And that is people like Chief Secretary from the government, Mr. Sibana. Also, my father, the brother that is actually jealous of me, Minister Masuka, sorry. Also, I'd like to thank all his friends, all the people he's worked with. You know, it's not easy to be his father, just as the way said, because everybody almost sometimes will tell you things about him, and you're like, I didn't know that. And so, you know, but he's that kind of person. There are people who are actually afraid of him. But family members, half the time, they all have different ways of relating to it. So, before we go further, I'd just like my siblings and our wives to get up again and face so that people can see them. Can you stand up, please? Because before they were facing this side, so can you all look the other way so people can see your faces? And then we have our wives. So you did get up and look. This is my wife, Rosalia Mupawose. Tara's wife is somewhere, but she knows she's busy. Thank you. Perfect. There we are. Okay. So those are my people, and the people who live with forever and ever. One of the things also we talk about our family that we have all these friends who almost know these are better than us. They actually tell us things like, and then they even talk to you like, you know, actually better relationship with him, you know? And you're like, okay, you know, that's the kind of spreading the effect he had on, you know, on people around us. So, you know, that's why I say it's a celebration, because the person who has run the race, and we're not sad at all that he's done it. I would also like to Muniem, yes, Isumuke, Albayoni. Next time I will go, Misha, and Masumo, Ruwa, Rumundo, Masuke, Tigone. Yes, Masuke, Mhuri yedu ine basa raikuita vakapota ndinofunga ine. Sirimu noti hazvinoti battle of fight, but tine passion yekuda kutarisa nyaya yechieftainship yemuZimbabwe. Pane zvimwe ndinofunga kuti isusu vanhu vanofunga zvinofanira kugadziriswa. Zvakaita amene zvakazofamba sei, but tiri kurwa hondo iyoyo reMupawose rewafa machief ekudhara wedu. So it's a battle we are fighting. I want to say that. So I also like to thank the people who've been good to us. I'm not going to talk about the rashes and stuff, but I want to thank the people who've been good to us. I did talk about the chiefs, the secretary. I did talk about my other brother from another mother, Dr. Basuka. We also have the people who own this place, who decided in their wisdom to give this building my father's name. We do appreciate that. And you know, an interesting thing, I'm sorry, the way it's structured, I think it tells me that you knew him well. Because you didn't just put in a building that was just roofs and, your normal brick and mortar building. You actually put in the things that were about him. The rocks behind him actually remind me of seeing myself with them. Actually, when you go to our farm in Senyezi, that's where the first farm we had. And my grandfather was a resettlement farmer, and we bought a farm in Senyezi, and that's where that's what you do, because that's where you grow up. In terms of when you were going to the rural areas that we go to on holidays, Taina will say yes, as you know, we go, Taina once in a while, so that you say it in forcing them. But anyway, but also it allowed us to learn and have passion for agriculture in terms of learning, farmers and so let me go back to the Zimbabwe Agricultural Society. We really appreciate the work you've done for us. It's not something we take lightly. You did it for us at a very short notice. You have the chairperson and the CEO of the areas. We, from the bottom of our hearts, with the family, we are not to say that. So, in ending, I would like to again thank all of you for coming. Mr. Marcelo talked about the recent program is and where we're going, and then we move from there. And let's have an enjoyable day. Let's celebrate his life.
So we pray for the food we're going to share. And the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, bless us with all the things we are about to receive from your goodness through Christ our Lord. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Spirit. Bon appetit. Good appetite. Thank you.
All right, so as we said, maybe we allow Honorable and your team maybe to step out for first, and then we just all of us make our way back to the back, and let's eat as quickly as we can so that we can be ready for as soon we won't announce it once the hearse is ready to go. You'll just see us leaving, so please just pay attention to what's going on. We want to be at Green Girl by 12. Thank you. Just excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, excuse me, just a quick announcement. We forgot one very important thing. We did not do body viewing. So for those ones who want to do body viewing, please come round to my left side and let's do the viewing as you're going to get your food. If you want to do body viewing, stay behind so that we can open up and you can view as you're going to get food. Thank you.
Varudaita body viewing, you can come round. I think we got that so. We are empty that on the side to Kumoya Mango Buddha. Just go. Yeah. Sorry.
imbiri.
Thank you so much. Two boys up a month ago. I was what? Hey,
Oh,
Ask about teaching.
Oh,
Plus 4.